Why do communities in the UK feel weaker and less connected than ever before? Welcome back to the Welsh Spitball, where I just have an open dialogue and a chat with you guys, discussing issues in the UK, Wales, and maybe even the wider audience if it feels necessary. And today we're going to more depth about community and the high streets, and I don't know what real people actually see every single day and what they don't see a lot of the time. I think it's quite important to talk about our high streets, especially because of the disaster that they are in at the moment. So yeah, if you did want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. If you wanted to like this video, I'd appreciate that. And yeah, let me know what you think about these topics and all the other topics that we cover, and just any opinions that you do have around the UK or Wales, or maybe even the bigger audience. Alright guys, I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to another episode of the Welsh Spitball. And today is going to be a fun one because I'm talking about stuff that hits every single day. Everyday people every single day, and that is our high streets. So a lot of you may know, a lot of you come from my TikTok, or I don't know, maybe know me in real life. My goal is to help small businesses, and which sort of doubles down with helping the high streets and just the community and stuff. I think that when we create a small, tight-knit community, a strong, tight-knit community, a country can thrive, especially if we've got loads of them. And I think that it doesn't have to be like sort of segregated. Like, you know, people from just West Wales are so segregated from people in North Wales, and then North Wales are segregated from people in South Wales, and I suppose East Wales as well, but that's just England. But I don't think we do anything about it, and I think that when we have so many like powerful, we have such like distinct, despite being one of the smallest countries in the world, we have such powerful, and we got a lot of reasons to be happy and to boast about ourselves, and to feel proud about being Welsh. The North have just incredible mountains and a completely unique dialogue, and so many amazing businesses like Zip World or Cave In and all these different amazing things. They've got an incredible coastline that most people don't even notice because they've got so many different incredible things. Pembrokeshire, West Wales we have some of the best beaches in the world, right? So I was just in the south of France. So we went to sort of northwest Italy, the south of France, and Monaco, which is, no offense, sorry, but it is basically the south of France. It is the south of France. It just happens to be there. And obviously Monaco doesn't really have any beaches. It has like a tiny, tiny speck of one. But it's basically just ports and then just a cliff edge. But the south of France has a load of beaches. We spent a whole time on beaches, the whole time. And even when we were in Italy, they have beaches. We just walked along the beaches and stuff. And look, I've been to Costa Rica. I've been to Rome, obviously doesn't have beaches. I've been to Turkey. I've been to Germany. I've been to so many different countries, right? And we have some of the best beaches in, I'm only going to say Europe, because I've only been to Costa Rica outside of Europe, but we have some of the best beaches. Fuck it, I'm going to say the world. Right? If you actually go to Pembrokeshire and go to the likes of Newgale or Tenby or any of the Pembroke Dock ones, or Pembroke ones, we've got Barafundle, which is just incredible, but you do have to walk to it, which puts most people off. You've got Fresh West, Fresh East, Stackpole. Like, there's just so many. I suppose Stackpole is more of a key, but You've got so many incredible beaches, and they're literally some of the best beaches in the world. I will die on that hill. Basically my whole TikTok is saying just how much I love Pembrokeshire and how incredible it is as a county. And then you've got Cardiff and South Wales. You've got Swansea, and they're busy, vibrant, unique, busy, entrepreneurial. Like they're unique in themselves, and we have so many things to boast about. And yet, it takes on a train. It'll take about 4 hours, maybe even longer, maybe even 5 hours to get to Cardiff from where I am, which is only like a 2-hour drive. And it'll cost you about £40 or £50. And then North Wales, guess what? We can't even get to North Wales by train from Pembrokeshire or anywhere in West Wales. You can't get to North Wales directly. So you'd have to go to Cardiff, which would take you, like 4 or 5 hours. And then you'd have to go all the way up, go into England, by the way. You can't go straight up to North Wales. You have to go into England and then catch a train from England to North Wales. How disconnected can Wales be from each other, right? And I don't know why. We should have had so much investment into our rail. We are one of the greenest countries in the world. We produce so much green energy, right? And yet, we're all driving cars because buses are almost non-existent, especially where I'm from. Maybe, Cardiff and Swansea might have some. Where I'm from, West Wales, we have bus systems that bring you around the same town pretty much, but they're unreliable and they don't take you very far and they're just not that great. And then trains, again, very inconsistent. From my hometown, where I grew up, you'd have 2 trains every single day, fair enough. You had about a 50-50 whether they were actually going to show up or not. There was about a 20% chance that they'd actually turn up on time. And they're just awful. Like, they cost you an arm and a leg to get onto the trains, for one. And it's just, I don't know, for a proud and happy nation, we're not communicating, we're not chatting with each other, we're not connected one bit to each other. And I don't know, I think that, my main focus is on like small businesses, and getting them, working and moving and getting people into business. But I'm sorry, I feel like there has to be someone for public transport. I think that is one of the biggest issues that we should be tackling in Wales right now, is public transport. I know I'm sad, but I go into depth with transport as well, specifically trains. I look at the Japanese. I think that what they're doing with their public transport is just absolutely, like, they're living in the year 2050. We're living in the year 2000, and I don't know, I get that they're a lot richer than us, they're richer than the UK, let alone Wales, but surely we can have, they're a lot bigger than, like, you physically, like, area mass, they are a lot bigger than us. Surely we can have some form of smaller version of what they've got. I don't know, call me crazy, but I think that for one of the richest countries in the world, we have the ability to take on so much debt as a country, as the UK at least. We have so much ability to take on debt because we're so strong as an economy. I know it doesn't feel like that to an everyday person, but generally we're pretty strong as an economy. Why can't we take on a little bit of debt? It would take probably, 20 billion, which seems like a lot, but it'll connect a whole country to one another. I think that it's worth it, but also it'll create a lot of money. So when I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent actually, but I think that's important because it sort of goes hand in hand with community and the sort of bigger picture, the wider picture. So I was actually looking at our rail network, and so it literally goes like basically a backwards C. So we got like North Wales all connected across, and then we got south, like it goes obviously into England and stuff, but it goes sort of like that, and then it goes back down to us. So we're like that. And I get that we have a lot of mountains in the way, and well, Rory, Snowdonia is in the way of us, and in Pembrokeshire, I mean West Wales, is directly in the way of us, and not Barry. I was going to say Barry then. Oh my god, the university in North Wales. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Am I just gonna forget what they're called? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to Google it because it is Bangor. Right, okay. Back on track. I know that we have a lot in the way of us and Bangor, but I'm sorry, but if you can't, I was looking at the trains in Monaco. So we were staying in a little town outside of Monaco. So it goes Nice, Monaco, and then we stayed here because we wanted to go into Italy a little bit, and Italy's obviously based by here. So we were in between Monaco and Italy, basically, and then on the other side of Monaco, it was Nice in South France, and the train system on cliff edges and going through tunnels and going through mountains and just crazy stuff. That, yes, okay, Monaco is literally one of the richest, by GDP, it is the richest country in one of the ones in the world, and brilliant, amazing. But I'm sorry, but if we can't afford a tiny little, I say tiny, it's the length of Wales, but I'm sorry, but if we can't afford that, I don't know. It makes me feel a little bit annoyed that we can't have that. But I know we can. And that is the bigger picture that I want to sort of portray on these videos. We can have that. What we need is public outcry and investment. I'm really sorry if you can hear the rain. That is really annoying. So the public, us, we can make that happen. And look, public transport is not my domain. I'm passionate about it, but I'm not an expert in it. I'm not someone that can actually make anything happen, really. But what I am an expert in is small businesses and helping them. And that's my domain. That is what I want to do. I want to get people into businesses, get them sort of feeling a little bit entrepreneurial, letting them know that, university it's a great way, but it's not the only way. And I think that that's the most important thing that I sort of found throughout my life is, I don't know, when I left school, I told you in a last video, I completely flunked school. A lot of the reason was because it was in Welsh, and I struggled to. Other subjects were alright to do in Welsh. I still support learning Welsh and doing school in Welsh, but business, I don't know what it was. Just the words it was really difficult for me to get my head around business in Welsh, and I completely failed. I completely failed in business, and so I sort of half got kicked out of school because I failed business, and my teacher was basically like, you've either got to Oh no, there was no ultimatum. It was you failed business. You have to have 4 subjects, I think it was, in A levels, and that would have I was basically kicked out of business, so I only had 3, but it was too late in the term for me to pick up another subject, so it was lose for me. But I was out of school basically, and I was only 17ish, 16, 17, and I was absolutely shitting myself. I didn't know what direction to go in. It was just awful. I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the grades to go to university, and yeah, I didn't know which way to turn. Basically, is the moral of the story. And I want to get to a place where, ideally, my organisation. But look, it's a lot to take on, and I don't think one man can do it on his own. I don't think, but I want to get to a point where university students or people that know that they don't want to go to school but know that they want to do something. Like, I didn't feel like a bum. I didn't feel like I was someone that was just like, I can't be asked to work and I don't want to work. I've worked since I was 12 and I loved it. I knew that I wanted to work hard, but I just didn't know what. And obviously, yeah, I didn't have any direction in life at that point. I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do, who I was going to like work with. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was working in retail at the time. Excuse me. And yeah, basically just shitting myself. And I want to get to a point where, maybe not, so that I don't want people to have like an excuse to drop out, but I want people that do decide to drop out, that want to work hard, I want them to have a place to go so that they can, I don't know, they can get some direction in their life. And I think that's my wider picture, is helping small businesses and getting people into business. Not to distract them from university. I think that's great if you do want to go into university. We need millions of people that do go to university. That is great. But I just want it to be the only option, and I want people to have a plan B. And yeah, I want to help people do that. So I went on a complete tangent then. Basically, what I'm saying is I want to cover the business side of things, but I think that we need to get community back and to get people talking to each other and seeing each other and doing stuff with each other. I think we need to get our public transport a lot better. So me and my partner forked out and went to Cardiff. It was because we were going to a rugby game, and then we were going to go out for dinner, and then we were like, oh, we'll just stay for some drinks afterwards. We really wanted to do that, but neither of us could be bothered to drive home, and hotels are just ridiculous. So we were like, we're not going to do that. We'll just get a return ticket later on, which was risky in itself. Sorry, my lighting decided to die, and all hell broke loose on my setup. But I forgot my train of thought as well. That was really annoying. Yeah, so it's risky enough to rely on public transport, even from Cardiff to Pembrokeshire. But we did it, and yeah, okay, we did it, but it was so expensive. It was 40 odd quid. I think it was like £37 or something for a return ticket, and then doubled. So, you know, obviously we wanted to drink and have a nice time and, you know, not have to worry about parking and all that. I get that it's quite convenient to take public transport if it works, but it doesn't half the time, and it's just so expensive. So I think that, I don't know, it would be amazing if someone had some passion for transport that could, you know, go into that and help with that sort of side of things, because I think that, well, I know that we need it. I know that we need better public transport. I'm not an expert in transport, and yeah, I don't know. I think it just needs more funding. But yeah, we funnily enough, we do actually have ownership of our public transport now. It's called Transport for Wales, and the only trouble is that, of course, the company that owned it before ran it into the ground, bare minimum, didn't do any repairs and stuff. So now Transport for Wales has ownership of it. They bought it, but now they have to do loads of repairs and stuff before they can think about extending anything or doing anything great. So it is a little bit disappointing, but you know, it's sort of good that it's in public hands now, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, people, we don't really have much of a community, and so many people feel like stuck, especially in sort of my generation. I think that people think that, or thought that they wanted a certain direction in life. I think that they thought that, I don't know, just going to get like a sort of a normal job, a mediocre job, and sort of just going down that route was the way forward. But talking to people sort of my age, I don't know, I don't think they feel happy necessarily with the outcome of their work life. But then people feel stuck, especially in West Wales, and I'm guessing North Wales feels the exact same. I don't live up that way, and I don't get to talk to many people that way, but we feel quite stuck because, for one, you have to drive. So if you don't drive, you're already at a huge disadvantage. You can't just rock up to London or whatever and be able to go for a job there or whatever. But two, like, it's so expensive. Like, wages here aren't as good as they are in London or England in general, or anywhere else for that matter. And I think that people think that they can't move out of, or it's really hard to move out of your community once you're sort of integrated into it with like your job and like your house and stuff. Everything's in proportion. So moving up the ladder to somewhere that's more expensive but with a better job, it's so hard to make that jump. So I think that people just feel stuck without direction as well. Like I think there's just so many issues I think that people have, and it's all well and good saying that it's lack of work ethic or whatever. But I know a lot of people that work hard. I know a lot of people that work hard that don't really think that they're getting much for their money. It is just a fact that the cost of living is kicking everybody's bums right now. It is just a fact, and I don't know. If I could be a part of that change, that'd be incredible, but I'm not a politician, so I don't know. I have a vision of what I want to achieve and do in my life, and this is hopefully going to be part of it. I want this to be a discussion and a point where I can, I don't know, eventually, hopefully, talk about the stuff that I'm doing and, hopefully get people's opinions on it and, I don't know, get ideas as well. Like, another sad fact about me, I have pages and pages and pages and books and books and books full of ideas and business plans and just ideas. They're not necessarily ones that I want to do or that I think are the best thing ever, but I just have millions of ideas, and there's a lot that could work and could help people, and I don't know. I think I might have to take a look at it and see if I can integrate that into what I want to do and build and achieve. So a big part of my happiness, I guess, and I don't know, my contentment and I don't know, just feeling happy with the way that my life is going is having purpose. So a big part of my purpose now, and to be honest, I'm only recently finding out what that is, but I've always wanted to help people. And since 12, maybe 13, I've always really wanted to help people. I didn't know how, I didn't know what I was going to do or where I was going to go. Well, I was literally a young teenager, not having a clue what to do, lost, but just knowing that they wanted to do something to help other people. And I ended up working. Then I owned businesses myself, and I just didn't feel like I had any purpose, even though... So I thought that I wanted to own loads of businesses and then do like philanthropy and stuff. So just use the money that I created in my businesses to do philanthropy and stuff. And that's what I sort of ran off for a while. And then I was like, well, why don't I just make my businesses around helping people? And then, if I'm really rich from doing that, then I can do philanthropy there and, go off and do that as well. But why not make the process helping people? And that's when I had the epiphany of becoming a strategic business partner for small businesses. It's very affordable. I work basically with small businesses to help them make more money and keep more money and just create momentum, help them with marketing campaigns, and just overall just being a business partner, basically a silent business partner for them, and just making them as much money as possible, and just try and succeed and take a little bit of strain off them. I think that's what a lot of people need, is just a bit of strain taken off them. And sometimes, a decision can feel so overwhelming, even if it's like the most minor decision that you have to do or task that you have to do. Sometimes it can feel so overwhelming when you've got other things to do. I can remember running I owned 3 franchises, right? And let me tell you, one was a piece of cake. I could literally have done that in my sleep. It was easy because I like to work hard, so I just worked as much as I wanted to, and I had 3 staff there at the time, which was overkill, I'm going to be honest. Like, they didn't make millions of pounds each. But yeah, I had 3 staff there. I didn't need to work, but I chose to. So, whenever I didn't actually need to physically work, I could go off and do my other stuff. And then 2 came and 3 came. And I really had to think to myself, how am I going to make this work? Obviously, I had to trust other people, to trust that they could do the processes and everything that I taught them. But also just managing, having to actually, because I had to actually work in a site myself then, like physically every single day. And then, managing all the other stuff that comes with owning 3 franchises. It wasn't easy. And I can remember a day, all I had to do was email my accountant saying, I had not life insurance, a insurance claim. And all I had to say was where the insurance was coming out of my account and stuff. And I'd left that for like 2.5 months. And like, I knew that it had to be done. Like, it wasn't because I'd forgotten or anything. But it was the most, like, I literally just had to say that it came from the franchisor, and that'd have been done. And I waited 2.5 months because I just felt so overwhelmed, and I don't know. It was when I'd just taken over. I think it was the 2nd site, to be fair, or maybe it was the 3rd. It was either in between the 2nd and the 3rd, or I just got the 3rd, maybe. And it just felt so overwhelming. And yeah, I obviously eventually I created a system that helped and served me, I guess. But it's difficult and it's not easy. And yeah, I just think that people are struggling. So that's what I want to do. I want to achieve helping small businesses and people getting into business. That is my overall movement. And that's what I want to do. And that is what I want this to turn into. I want this to be small business owners, or hopefully people that want to get into business, where we can just chat and maybe help each other out. Okay, so I also have this sort of subsection of this video. And I think this is really important. So I get that it's quite easy to say you want one thing and then not follow through with it and not actually do it. But people love negativity, right? So no matter what walk of life you're in, if you're trying to do social media or trying to own your own business or trying to start a brand or whatever it may be, you'll have people that are negative Nancy's and just want to just laugh at you, basically, behind your back. Now, I'm lucky. I've always been in front of a camera. Like, I tried to do YouTube when I was 13-ish, 14 maybe. And I've never had a problem with, I don't know, I've just never really cared if, people laugh or people talk behind my back or whatever. I sort of have this vision and I know what I want to do, and I know that I want to do good for the world and hopefully my community. So I've never had that problem, but I know that a lot of people have. On my TikTok, I get messages so many times saying, how do you do what you're doing and just not care if people laugh or whatever? I don't know, it just doesn't cross my mind. I think that it used to, maybe when I was, I don't know, I think when I was like bodybuilding, I think that I was quite insecure. So when I was sort of like 17, 18-ish, I was quite insecure. And then it just fizzled out, and I hadn't thought about it until I started getting messages about it. And yeah, I don't know, I think that it's so easy. But even if you're not on social media, I think that just your community can, I don't know, sometimes not get behind someone, or they might, I don't know, just, it's really weird. It's like a secret hater that, I don't know, just wants to see you fall. Usually it is because they're unhappy themselves, which is sad, but that is usually the case. And yeah, I just hope that anybody watching this that is a inspiring entrepreneur or business owner, just don't listen to them. It's usually because they're upset or not happy with their lives, and it has no reflection on you or your abilities. So just go for it either way. The worst case scenario, and I heard this quote, and it really did help when I was younger. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out and you completely fall flat on your face and you fail, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is that you're going to have to get a normal job like normal people. That is it. And that is, I feel like that's reason enough to at least give it a go. So yeah, if that helps, let me know. But yeah, I think that's going to be the video for today. I think that, I don't know, I felt like I went on tangents quite a bit, but because I'm passionate about what I'm talking about, and I kind of, like, I want that to be this channel. I don't really know what I want it to be 100%, but I know that I want it to be a place that I can just have like an outlet of just somewhere to rant at, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. I want it to be a conversation. I want it to be somewhere where I can just voice my opinion and just rant, because sometimes I have a million and one thoughts, and sometimes I don't get them out in a day. I don't get one out in a day sometimes, and I don't know, I just feel tired and lethargic, and I don't feel good holding it in. So I like to just have a rant, and like, not a rant in a bad way, just a ramble. And yeah, I'm hoping that could be this channel here, the Welsh Spitball. So if you did like it, please like and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see in the future, what topics you want me to talk about. I want to keep it quite light-hearted. I don't know. There's a lot of serious topics in the world that are sad, but I don't want to. I don't know. I know it's important, but I want it to be focused on the positive things that we can do in the world rather than the things that we can't really control. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So if you did have any questions or topics that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments, and yeah, cheers.